October 1st, 331 BC, the plain of Gaugamela in what is now northern Iraq. This is the single largest field battle of the ancient world, and it is about to begin. But what if the army facing Alexander the Great is not the Persians, but 100 men of the United States Army Special Forces, Green Berets? The question is not whether a modern rifle can kill a man in bronze armor. The question is what 100 operators do when 47,000 disciplined Macedonians refuse to break. The simulation has rules. Terrain is the historical Gaugamela plain, flat and dry, roughly 9 by 9 kilometers. The date is fixed at October 1st, 331 BC, and Alexander III of Macedon fields. His army exactly as it appeared on the historical morning. The Green Berets arrive with 8 operational detachment alpha teams plus a small headquarters element. Total strength is 100 men. They bring what fits in 12 ground mobility vehicles. No air support, no close air, no satellite uplink, no resupply, ever. When ammunition is gone, it is gone. And when fuel runs out, the GMVs are scrap. The base camp does not reset. Alexander does not know what these men are. And the colonel commanding the operators does not know how deep the Macedonian reserves run. Now to the participants. Alexander's army at Gaugamela is the most successful military machine of the ancient world. It has crossed 3,500 kilometers from Pella without losing a single pitched battle. Its core is the phalanx, 6 brigades, 9,000 men, 16 ranks deep. Each man carries a sarissa, a pike 5.5 meters long. The first 5 ranks lower their pikes on command, forming a moving hedge of bronze points the enemy cannot reach through. Behind the pike wall stand the hypaspists, 3,000 elite infantry in lighter armor, armed with the dory spear and the xiphos short sword. They are the hinge between phalanx and cavalry. On the right rides Alexander himself, leading the Companion Cavalry. 1,800 horsemen in iron helmets and linen cuirass, armed with the giston, a 3.6mm Cornell wood lance. They charge in a wedge formation and have broken every line they have ever met. On the left, Parmenion commands 9,000 Thessalian and allied cavalry, light skirmishers, Agrianian javelineers, Cretan archers, and Thracian peltasts fill the gaps. Total deployed strength is 47,000. Alexander is 25 years old. He has not lost. The 100 Green Berets are something the ancient world has never categorized. Their unit was created in 1952 at Fort Bragg, and its doctrine is unconventional warfare. Its base mission unit is 12 men, 1 operational detachment alpha. Each ODA is built around a captain, a warrant officer, and 10 sergeants cross-trained in weapons, engineering, medicine, communications, and intelligence. They are designed to operate behind enemy lines with no support for months. The primary weapon is the M4A1 carbine, firing a 5.56mm round at 940 meters per second, effective on a point target to 500 meters. Each man carries 210 rounds. 6 per ODA carry the Mk17 Scar H in 7.62 NATO, traveling at 840 meters per second. It will pass through a Macedonian Aspis shield, the linothorax behind it, and the man inside at 800 meters. Each ODA fields 1 M240B medium machine gun and 1 M249 squad automatic weapon. The detachment also carries 6 FGM-148 Javelin missiles, 20 AT-4 rocket launchers, 8 M3 Carl Gustaf recoilless rifles, and 480 mortar rounds for 2 M224 60mm tubes. 12 M2 Browning heavy machine guns are mounted on the GMVs, firing a 12.7mm round at 890 mph per second, accurate beyond 800 meters. They carry PVS-31 night vision binoculars, AN-PEC-15 infrared lasers, and 240 M18 Claymore mines, each ejecting 700 steel ball bearings in a 60-degree arc. Their commander on this morning is a lieutenant colonel, age 41, with 18 years in the regiment and tours in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria. He has never commanded against cavalry. He has one advantage Alexander does not. He has read about Gaugamela, and he knows exactly where the Macedonian army will be at dawn. Phase 1. Reconnaissance and engagement, Day 0. The colonel positions his force on a low ridge 2.4 kilometers southwest of the historical Macedonian camp. 2 sniper teams move forward at 003 Zoars, each carrying an M107 Beret in 50 BMG. Their orders are simple. Find Alexander. Through PVS-31 optics, the Macedonian camp is a city of fires, because 47,000 men are not silent at night. The snipers identify the command tent by the size of its banners, and Alexander by the density of sentries. At 0418, a single 50 caliber round travels 1720 mintakus 2.21 seconds and enters the side of the command tent. Alexander is asleep in a different tent 12 meters away, and the round kills a slave and a guard. The Macedonian camp does not panic. It does not understand what happened. No arrow has that range, and no catapult is that quiet. At dawn, Alexander forms his army, deciding the noise was an omen and an insult. The Macedonian line marches forward, 47,000 men in formation, 8 km wide. The phalanx sets out at 4 km per hour, while the Companion Cavalry waits on the right wing. Phase 2. The first hour of contact. The Green Berets occupy a shallow horseshoe of broken ground, 1.6 kilometers across. 12 GMVs are dug in along the spine, M2s ranged on aiming stakes, and mortar positions pre-registered on 6 target reference points. The phalanx advances. The viewer expects machine guns to end this in minutes. They do not. At 1200 mim, the M240Bs open fire, and rounds punch through line of thorax and bronze. Men in the front 5 ranks fall, and the men in the 16th rank step forward to fill the gap. The hedge of sarissas does not waver, and it keeps moving at 4 km per hour. This is the Macedonian doctrine. A phalanx absorbs casualties from the front and replaces them from the rear. It is, in 331 BC, the deepest formation on Earth. The M2 Brownings open at 900 mm, and a 12.7 mm round passes through 3 men and a shield. Files collapse and reform, but the pikes still advance. At 600 meters, the mortars begin, 40 rounds in the first minute. White phosphorus and high explosive walk across the Macedonian center, and whole files vanish in red mist. The brigades on either side close ranks and keep walking. The colonel checks his watch. 22 minutes of fire. Alexander has lost an estimated 4,000 men, but his phalanx is still 5,000 strong and 700 meters away. The colonel has expended 31% of his small arms ammunition. Phase 3. The cavalry problem. Alexander has been watching from the right wing. He has identified the source of fire by the muzzle flash and dust, and he does what he did at the Granicus, at Issus, and at every battle since. He charges. 1,800 Companion Cavalry shift from a walk to a canter to a full gallop, the wedge forming around him. Closing speed at a full gallop is 60 km per hour, and the 2.4 km gap collapses in 2 minutes 24 seconds. The east flank ODA opens with 2 M3 Carl Gustaf rounds at 800 meters, each high explosive shell detonating inside the wedge. 14 horses go down, but the wedge does not stop. Alexander adjusts the line of charge by 30 degrees and accelerates. At 600 meters, 3 Javelin missiles fly. The Javelin is designed to kill main battle tanks at 2,500 meters, and against horses it is the wrong tool. 2 rounds overshoot, 1 detonates in the dirt and kills 18 riders. The colonel orders mortars off the phalanx and onto the cavalry. The shift takes 40 seconds. The companions cover that 600 meters in 36 seconds. Lead riders reach the GMV line at minute 27. This is the moment the experiment turns. 3 Green Berets are killed by Lance and Xiphos in the first minute of contact. 6 more wounded, and 2 GMVs overrun. Alexander himself rides through the eastern position. He is unhorsed by a burst from an M249, and his hypaspist guard, who have followed the charge on foot, drag him back. He is bruised, not bleeding. He has lost 700 companions and the east flank of the American line, but he has also seen the weapons fire, reload, and jam. Phase 4. The night. The colonel withdraws to the ridge at last light with 84 men standing, 16 dead and 9 wounded. The wounded cannot be evacuated. No helicopter is coming. Small arms ammunition is at 19%. 2 javelins remain, 3 Carl Gustaf rounds, 60 mortar shells. His force has killed approximately 11,000 Macedonians in one afternoon. The phalanx is broken as a coherent formation, and Alexander's cavalry has taken 40% casualties. Across the plain, the Macedonians still have 36,000 men standing, and Alexander does not order another frontal assault. He sends Parmenion north with 6,000 cavalry under cover of darkness. The Thessalians ride wide, 14 kilometers around the American flank, cutting the line of withdrawal. They find the supply cache of food and water the GMVs were drawing on, and they burn the water trucks. The Green Berets have PVS-31 night vision and see the Thessalians coming. They engage at 400 enum and kill 300. The remaining 5,700 dismount, scatter, and move on foot. They reach the cache and destroy it, losing 1,200 more men. By Forza, the American force has water for one more day. Phase 5. The siege the Greeks invented. At dawn on the second day, the Macedonian line has reformed at 2.5 kilometers. The phalanx is now 4,000 men in a thinner formation, 8 ranks instead of 16, with the cavalry held in reserve. The line does not advance. Alexander has solved the problem. He does not need to attack. He needs to wait. The Green Berets fire at the static line for an hour, killing 600 men and expending 8% of remaining ammunition. The pikes do not move, and new men step forward from the rear to replace the fallen. The colonel knows what is happening because he has read Arrian. This is the same tactic Alexander used against the rebel city of Tyre. He did not storm walls he could not break. He waited until thirst did the work. By midday on the second day, 3 Green Berets have collapsed from heat exhaustion. By evening, the M2 Brownings are firing single rounds, conserving everything. By dawn on the third day, the GMVs are dry of fuel, and ammunition is gone except for personal sidearms. The colonel makes the call at 07:14 on the third morning. He destroys the remaining equipment with thermite. His 79 surviving men form a single tight perimeter. They fix bayonets. It is the first time an M9 bayonet has been fixed for an actual close assault since the unit was founded. Alexander watches from 800 men away. He has now lost approximately 13,500 men, the largest casualty figure of his career by a factor of 9. He gives the order to advance. The final fight lasts 11 minutes. Hypaspists close on foot in a tight formation, shields locked. The Green Berets fire until the last 5.56mm round is gone. They draw SIG P320 sidearms. They fight with knives. Of 79 men, 4 are taken alive, wounded, and out of ammunition. They are not killed. Alexander, who has lost 13,500 men to a force of 100, does the thing no one expects. He has them brought to his tent. He has the wounds dressed. He asks through a captured Greek-speaking sergeant where they came from. He never receives an answer he can understand. The verdict. 100 Green Berets killed approximately 13,500 Macedonians in 64 hours, losing 96 of their own. They did not break, and they were not defeated by Alexander's cavalry, his phalanx, or his archers. They were defeated by 47,000 men who could afford to stand still. The experiment did not test small unit lethality, because small unit lethality was never in question. It tested whether 100 men with finite ammunition can defeat an army that is content to wait for them to run out. Modern special operations doctrine assumes a supply chain. Alexander's army was the supply chain. The only force the Green Berets could not kill was time.